I cleaned my entire apartment while my girlfriend flatlined. When I was 11, my parents sat me down to tell me they were getting divorced, and I immediately started organizing the bookshelf behind them. They thought I wasn't listening, but I heard every word while alphabetizing their entire collection. My therapist later explained it was a dissociative coping mechanism, that my brain protects itself from overwhelming emotions by hyperfocusing on physical tasks. When stress hits critical levels, my hands need to move. I need to create order from chaos, or I completely shut down. My mom's diagnosis came when I was 15, and I reorganized her entire medicine cabinet while she explained the treatment plan. When my grandfather died, I cleaned out his garage during the wake while everyone else cried inside. People think I'm cold. They think I don't care. My college roommate called me a robot after I spent 6 hours doing laundry the night his dad had a heart attack instead of sitting with him. I couldn't explain that folding clothes was the only thing keeping me from falling apart. Naomi was the first person who ever got it. We met at a grief support group I attended after losing my cousin, and she noticed me fidgeting with the chairs, straightening them into perfect rows while everyone shared their pain. She sat next to me afterward and said, "Your hands are shaking, but your face looks calm." I told her about my brain, and she told me about her heart condition, the one she'd had since birth, the one that could stop her at any moment without warning. We bonded over being broken in ways nobody could see. She'd catch me stress cleaning at 2 in the morning and just hand me the vacuum without asking questions. When her doctors gave her bad news, she'd find me scrubbing the bathroom tiles until my knuckles bled, and she'd sit on the counter and talk to me while I worked. She said she felt safe knowing I'd always be doing something productive instead of panicking. We moved in together after a year. She made me promise that if anything ever happened, I wouldn't let my coping mechanism isolate me from the people who loved her. 3 weeks ago, Naomi collapsed in our kitchen while making breakfast. I heard the eggs hit the floor before I heard her body. By the time I reached her, she wasn't breathing. I called 911 and started CPR, counting compressions like they taught us, but my hands were already looking for something else to do. The paramedics arrived in 8 minutes and took over, shocking her twice before they got a rhythm. They let me ride in the ambulance, and I sat there watching them work on her, my fingers twitching, my eyes scanning the ambulance interior for anything out of place. At the hospital, they rushed her into surgery while a nurse guided me to a waiting room and told me someone would update me soon. I sat down. I stood up. I sat down again. Then I walked out of the hospital, got in my car, and drove home. I don't even remember making the decision. My brain just took over. I walked into our apartment and saw the eggs still splattered on the kitchen floor, the pan smoking on the stove, her coffee mug still warm on the counter. I should have been at the hospital. I should have been holding her hand or praying or calling her family. Instead, I grabbed paper towels and started cleaning. I scrubbed the egg off the tiles until the grout sparkled. I washed every dish in the sink. I wiped down counters, organized the spice rack, cleaned inside the microwave. When the kitchen was spotless, I moved to the living room. I vacuumed, dusted, fluffed every pillow. Her parents called 6 times. I let it go to voicemail while I cleaned the windows. Her sister texted asking where I was. I was reorganizing our closet by color and season. The hospital called to tell me she was out of surgery. I thanked them and started scrubbing the bathroom. For 4 hours, I cleaned like my life depended on it while Naomi fought for hers alone in a hospital bed. I was on my hands and knees cleaning behind the toilet when I finally broke. I just stopped moving and sat on the bathroom floor and sobbed until I couldn't breathe. Then I got up, washed my face, and drove back to the hospital. Her family was in the waiting room, furious. Her mother called me heartless. Her sister asked how I could leave her like that. I couldn't explain it in a way that made sense, so I just walked past them into her room. Naomi was awake, barely, hooked up to more machines than I could count. She looked at me, and the first thing she said was, "Our apartment must be spotless right now." I started crying again, and she squeezed my hand and told her family to leave us alone. I sat with her for 12 hours after that, not cleaning anything, just holding her hand while she drifted in and out of sleep. The doctor said she coded twice on the table. They said she was lucky to be alive. She said she knew I'd be okay because if I was cleaning, it meant I was still functioning enough to take care of her when she got home. Naomi's been home for 2 weeks now. The apartment really is spotless. She jokes that her heart stopping was worth it for how organized our pantry is. Her family still doesn't understand me, but she told them to either accept how I cope or stop visiting. I've started therapy again, trying to learn how to stay present when crisis hits instead of disappearing into tasks. Naomi sits with me during the hard sessions.